Hi, and welcome back to the Cool Media Theater for a special Christmas installment of WTF Cinema, where we look at weird and unlikely video game adaptations and movies. I'm Adam, and I'm ready to hop aboard the Polar Express. The Polar Express started life as a book by Chris Van Allsburg that just about every grade school kid read in the 80s. I was in kindergarten when the book was released, and it was definitely a part of my childhood. It even won the Caldecott Award. However, it would take almost 20 years and a massive leap in technology before it was adapted into a movie. The 2004 film, which has shown up on TV every Christmas since, has done so for a good reason. The CG animation went to great lengths to look like the art style in the book, allowing it to age much better than other CG animated films of the time like Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. However, the motion capture on the characters does look a bit creepy, especially with the star Tom Hanks playing multiple parts. Also, new elements were added to lengthen the movie, like the nameless protagonist being doubtful, getting lost on the way through Santa's factory, and others. Really, did we need a Steven Tyler elf cameo? And I'm a massive Aerosmith fan, for crying out loud. I'd be irritated by the additions, except the original author was the executive producer of the film, so he must have been okay with the filler. All in all, it is an enjoyable Christmas film that may feel a bit cliched due to the extra scenes, but still has plenty of charm. Needless to say, it wasn't the kind of film that called for a video game, even with the extra scenes added compared to the book. Yet, a game was made to coincide with the film for PC, PS2, Game Boy Advance, and the GameCube, which is the one I played. Now, while the game hits all the story beats in the movie, an additional plot had to be added for the game, and that addition just feels desperate. Remember the marionette puppet of Ebenezer Scrooge that had a one-scene appearance in the movie? Well, that puppet provides the conflict for the first half of the game. No, I'm not kidding. The game starts on the train with that puppet trying to withhold the children's tickets in the hopes of getting the kids kicked off. Even for a licensed kids game, that motivation is anemic. Aside from the Scrooge subplot, most of the levels are derived from the extra scenes that were added into the movie, like the skiing segment, the engine repair, and the conveyor belts in Santa's workshop. Now, I may just be a cynical bastard here, but it almost feels like those scenes were put into the movie just to justify this game's existence. The majority of the game plays as a basic platformer, and the mechanics are solid enough. The controls are simple to grasp, and the camera cooperated most of the time. However, the biggest plus point in the game's favor is its variety. It seems like almost every level has a new trick that is exclusive to that level. One minute you're tossing toys into baskets, the next you're sneaking through a kitchen. Yeah, this game released during that period where just about every game from Zelda to Yakuza was shoehorning in unnecessary stealth segments. The game also has a couple rhythm segments for the hot chocolate dance number and stoking the boiler. There are also a couple mini-games like one where the unnamed protagonist stops everything to play tennis. Most of these diversions are available to play separately from the bonus content section of the main menu, but they have to be unlocked by finding and assembling toys from parts found throughout the levels. While most of those pieces are found in simple hiding spots, others are placed on scrolling segments that can be a pain in the ass to grab, requiring restarting the level to get another crack at it. Lastly, the game is almost criminally short. If you manage to get through the game without repeating any segments, the main story mode can be completed in less than 2 hours, about as long as the movie it's based on. That includes sitting through the clips of the movie that are included in the game. I didn't have an issue with the short length when I played it for this video, as I found my copy at a used game store for only a few bucks, but can you imagine shelling out $50 back when this was new? No wonder reviews weren't kind toward it at the time. Aesthetically, the game is okay for the era. The visuals are acceptable for the time, recreating the characters and locations of the movie well enough with lots of color. That's always welcome, especially in something festive like this. The animation is fairly smooth during the platforming segments, though they do stutter a bit during the rhythm segments, which can hurt gameplay there. The music is unobtrusive, but it never really goes beyond window dressing. A lot of the time I didn't notice it. Fortunately, the game got most of the voice cast from the movie to reprise their roles in the game, including Eddie Deason as the know-it-all, Michael Jeter, who died before this movie's release, as the engineers, and even Tom Hanks as the conductor. Most of Hanks' other parts were trimmed down or edited out of the game. There are multiple clips from the movie sprinkled throughout, as well as a few in-engine cutscenes, but for some reason, they were much darker than the graphics during gameplay. Trust me, I didn't dim the footage you're seeing here. I know that the compression required for those mini-discs used with the GameCube can lead to issues with recorded video, but I've seen better in that regard when I play Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. The Polar Express game is okay. While it has some nice variety in its gameplay, its short length can be a turn-off unless you find it dirt cheap. However, I can't help feeling a little cynical about its existence, as the levels are almost exclusively based on the scenes in the movie that weren't in the original book. Oh well, I guess it can go without being a Scrooge here. The game is a very little bit of harmless fun for the kids like the movie is based on. I can think of worse games to load up for the holidays. Grinch! Well, that's it for this installment of WTF Cinema. Like what I'm doing? Give a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Any questions, comments, or want to call me a cynical prick? Drop them in the comments below or send them that Twitter right there. Next time, I've got a special treat for Christmas. At least it'll be a treat for you, but it'll be torture for me. Join me back here in the Cool Media Theater on Christmas Day, and game on.